You might not like it, but this is what the peak male athletic form looks like, and there ain't a fucking thing you can do about it.
Good morning, BBs.
Good
it
morning.
Is too early.
Sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And look, if you were expecting a show about the Turf Wizard game this morning, you can go to a different channel. You can expecto a little better of society, okay?
You love to see it. Look, IGN will simp for the Turf Wizards.
Look, you want to get on the magical train to queerbait land, you can do that with someone else, okay? Because we're not doing that this morning. We're not talking about that game.
Sure aren't.
Go read it somewhere else. There's a lot of other wonderful things that are happening, and we're going to focus on those.
So many other things. And also, I'm too tired to yell about the Turfs.
Can't do it this morning. Can't do it this morning.
I'd have to interrupt every other sentence about the game with it. And I'm Anthony, I'm too tired.
Look, everybody, read another book, play another game, watch another movie.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
Did you celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
Yes. Was it yesterday?
Yeah. So no.
I did at the CVS yesterday, now that you mention it.
Go on, that sounds sus.
At the CVS yesterday, now that you mention it, there was a gentleman ahead of me who was just decked out for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
He had like the big floppy green top hat. Mm-hmm. You know, he was wearing like the green shorts and the green, and he had like manic panic or something similar, like just through his hair, and he was just buying like all the candy and like cheap wine coolers from CVS. And I was like, live your life. We've been trapped in boxes for 2 years. You want to go out and celebrate snakes? The removal of snakes?
Sure.
Celebrate the removal of snakes however you see fit.
That's the thing that I noticed is I think that people were way more festive because this is the first holiday where they felt a little safer.
Mm-hmm.
Which, everybody, live your life, be careful. Yeah, I sat momentarily outside of a bar with a mask on. I pulled up a little table and it was empty outside. It was great. And I let friends come out to see me. And that was all. It was very, very chill. And then a man in a like Clover Care Bear. I guess there's like a 4-leaf clover Care Bear onesie. Wandered outside and said,
the traditional greeting of their people.
I was up and I was like,
can we?
And I was like, what? And he was like, can I bum a lighter? And I was like, oh, I don't have one. And he was like, that guy in the jean jacket over there stole my lighter. And I was like, you want me to talk to him?
Just ask him for it back.
Right. You want me to talk to him? You want me to do something? He's like, no. You do anything interesting? And I was like, what does that mean, sir?
Do you mean tonight? Do you mean in my life?
Do you do anything interesting? Are you doing anything interesting?
Have you done before?
Do you?
Will you do? Have you done? Are you consistently doing anything interesting? As he just leans further and further towards the ground.
So, yep, that was my night.
Britt JK in the live studio audience saying, who needs St. Patrick's Day when you have Purim? And I gotta say, Purim does slap. Purim, if you're gonna celebrate a Jewish holiday, do Purim.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Not a lot of Jewish holidays slap. You wouldn't describe 99% of Jewish holidays as slapping.
No, 99% of Jewish holidays are getting slapped. 99% of Jewish holidays are remember the pain. And you're like, okay.
Okay, I remember.
What pain? All of the pain.
Everyone.
All right, I'll do it.
Right, shit,
Seems weird that it's always the pain. But Purim is just like, there was a bad dude and we straight up murdered him once. Mm-hmm. Let's make noises and wear costumes about it.
Okay, this is not relevant, but I mean, to the show today, I still haven't seen the Batman.
It's basically Purim the movie.
Bunch of friends have seen it. Penguin's there. We know that.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know. I said, if the penguin's there, we've updated the canon on the penguin. Did they follow it? Is he Jewish?
Is Pengy Jewish?
The answer is no. I mean, they didn't specifically come out and be like, hey, I'm the penguin and I am not Jewish.
Hey, Mazel Tov, I'm the penguin.
He didn't do the opposite, or he didn't do anything. But
well, how would you? That's the thing is, you would have to come up within the context of the film.
They did it in Harley Quinn.
Yes, they did do it in Harley Quinn by making an entire episode about the penguin being Jewish, basically.
It was great.
Hey, by the way, that dovetails nicely into a big news.
Okay.
A very big news.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
We love the Harley Quinn cartoon.
We think the Harley Quinn animated series is one of the greatest animated series ever made.
And also one of the best things DC has ever done,
Agreed.
I think. And we also love Harvey Guillen. We love what we do in the shadows. And we love that our boy is gonna be Nightwing in season 3.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
He's gonna be.
Yes.
He is gonna be Dick Grayson in season 3.
I love this.
This is so good. That's oh my goodness. I'm so excited that he's just all up in the DC universe now. Because of course we reported earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, that he's going to be in the Blue Beetle movie.
Yeah, thriving.
He's thriving in the DC universe.
One more time.
So that is some wonderful news.
That season cannot come soon enough.
It is. Listen, we're not rushing anybody. We understand.
You're making a good thing, and production is hard.
And there was a whole thing that happened that's making people celebrate St. Patrick's Day way too hard. But we would like to see it soon. That'd be lovely.
That would be lovely.
That'd be lovely.
We don't have a hard release date, right?
We don't.
No, they were just like soon.
Yeah, they released that when it's done.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah. Clayface and King Shark are excellent. I just miss my good gay girl show.
It's so good.
Anyways.
Friend of the show, by the way, Danny Fernandez is going to be writing on the Harley and Ivy comic.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Huge news. There is a Harley Quinn comic that is based on the animated series. So if you're feeling a little bit of withdrawal from that Harley Quinn animated series, that's a good way to get your fill. And now a friend of the show is writing stories for it.
Very exciting.
Very exciting time to be alive.
You love to hear it. Let's talk about why was that necessary?
It wasn't necessary, but it was fancy.
I
Tell me
disagree that noise was fancy. Okay, so let's talk about games, shall we? We got a couple of games. Most excitingly, and I feel like we haven't had a lineup like this of news in a while, we've got a couple of new games.
New games?
We've got some new game trailers that I'm very excited about. I'm sure most of you have probably seen the trailer for the Quarry going around.
If you did not, it's very good.
Let's see if we can watch it together. Yeah, we can. I love when shit works.
This is, of course, the latest in... What is the name of the series? Whoa, David Arquette!
This is Dark Pictures?
Yeah, the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yes.
Thank you.
The thing I'm playing right now?
Yeah.
That I couldn't remember because it's exactly 8 a.m.
Dude, CG David Arquette actually looks really good.
He does. They up their animation like a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot. As someone who's currently playing through Little Hope, like, it's a great improvement. I think that was Brenda Song. We'll have to look through the cast in a second here.
Lance Henriksen is there. Not Dark Pictures, but same company.
That's right. This is the alternative. They're doing one off the main line, and they're doing like 6 more in Dark Pictures.
So I'm watching this, and what makes this not Dark Pictures?
You know, in the same way that Until Dawn is also technically not a Dark Pictures.
Gotcha.
It's just another one of their games. Now, Dark Pictures does have a through line. that this does not connect
This
to.
doesn't connect to the through line. Okay.
Yeah.
This is starting to become the video game version of the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, that's fair. There's the 3 main Conjurings, and then there's the Annabelle. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are things that just
Nun.
feel like it, and then...
Right.
But this looked, I mean, it does look really, really good.
Exactly. Kurt in the live studio audience said, no bowler hat, dude. That is literally the piece that connects them all is a dude in a bowler hat.
Oh, wow. Was that Ted Raimi? Who was that?
You want to look up the cast?
This is a good cast.
This is a good cast.
Hey, they got a good cast.
This was just a fantastic trailer. Obviously, playing trailer noises and music will get our video taken down, so we're just listening to it quietly together. Rock Band Dad, exactly. That did look like Ted Raimi.
David Arquette, yeah, Ted Raimi. Playing Travis. Ariel Winter.
Oh.
There she is, yeah. Oh,
I know
there we
her.
go. Justice Smith. We got it all right here.
Wow. Oh my God, Skylar, I knew that kid too. That's very funny.
Man, that's so good.
Yeah.
Love it.
The game looks phenomenal. I'm so fucking excited about it. This was something that was previously announced, but we didn't really know almost anything about. I wish we had a hard release date. Wait, no, we do. June 10th.
June 10th. That's soon.
Is that soon? Does June feel soon yet?
June soon?
Is June soon?
June soon? Yes. It's March. That's 3 months away. That's pretty soon.
All right.
It's pretty soon. We're just skyrocketing through this year, and let me tell you. Hey, every once in a while, the Fortnite.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, the Fortnite.
The Fortnite nights.
And like they'll put something in the Fortnite, and I'll go, oh yeah, that makes me want to do the Fortnite.
Okay.
And because they put everything in Fortnite.
Everything's been in Fortnite.
Everything's in Fortnite.
From Superman to Ariana Grande.
Yeah, they put Superman in Fortnite, and it almost got me into Fortnite. And then I was like, I don't want to see Clark Kent with a Gatling gun, so I didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people jumped in when the Marvel stuff happened. A lot of people jumped in for the Star Wars stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, Saige.
What? First time they almost got you?
I'll tell you what, Saige. This is a pretty good one. The Doctor.
So,
the Doctor is coming.
What's interesting about this is it is not just what they typically do with collaborations, which is drop some skins into the game. Whoop. They are doing Doctor Who themed like lands essentially within it and game modes within it. They're calling it more of an experience.
I love this.
Wait.
The reality virus has brought the TARDIS to the Fortnite. Sure. Repair the TARDIS.
So from the TARDIS hub on the map, you'll be able to visit 4 other locations based on Doctor Who adventures. Clearly one of them has the Weeping Angels, which is very exciting.
Oh, my NDI just barked off. But you got the Kerblam warehouse, which is very exciting.
Oh, it's just frozen?
Yeah.
Players can hold box fights in the Kerblam zone. An escape map lets players try and figure out their way out of the quad zone while dealing with PTing creatures leeching off of the ship's energy. A rumble mode map lets players pick either Time Lords or Daleks to fight for in a classic death match. And then there's a Doctor Who museum world, which recreates the Doctor's favorite enemies, including the Weeping Angels.
Very, very exciting.
Gonna give that camera a little shaky shake.
Here are the Weeping Angels in front of some Centaurans.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's very exciting. I like that. Is anything gonna work for me? Will
I will agree that this is a particularly appealing collaboration.
Oh, Gallifrey.
You know, I like the idea of being able to run around in a Doctor Who world because, like, Doctor Who is not a setting for a video game, really.
Yeah.
That's just never really lined up to be the move. And I get it. I don't know what it would look like. I don't know what I would want it to be. But I'd like to run around in the world.
Yeah, I think, you know, I would like to see, as far as skins go, listen, Superman with a gun is weird enough. The Doctor with a gun is a no.
I think that's why they didn't, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But there are characters that I would love to see as skins. You know, you're talking about like the Suntarans. I would love to run around as a Suntaran in Doctor Who. You know what I mean?
Running around as a Dalek, highly impractical in the shape of your model.
But so fun.
That would be very fun. You know what I could see? You know how you can pick up like a bush and hide in it? Mm-hmm. It's just a Dalek. Not noticeable at all. Blend in.
Yeah, a unit soldier. Like, I love all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god, a Weeping Angel skin would slap so hard also.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be really cool.
Like if
very still.
Like if someone Alonzo says I want Lego Doctor Who. I don't know if it exists. Physical Legos, I believe. No, they do. They were all part of Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions had like a huge number of Doctor Who, like all the Doctors were in there. And they made sets for Lego Dimensions. I don't know if they made any other set.
The first person that came to mind for me also was Captain Jack Harkness.
Oh, Captain Jack.
Yeah.
Captain Jack would run around. Yeah, let him run around with a weapon. I
think a couple of the things is, one, most of these characters are just guys. They're just people. Mm-hmm. You know, like...
Lee Green Griffin says Cybermen.
Yeah, Cybermen would be a great skin.
Some of the companions, Maximum Damage says some companions make sense.
People can do whatever they want with River Song. I don't care.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
I don't care. I never cared, and I never will care. And they can't make me.
I cared in the beginning.
I never cared.
And then they just wove it. They wove the River Song and Amy and all that stuff into just
one library
way too
episode.
much.
One episode would have been fine.
I wouldn't have minded if she had showed up every once in a while.
I would. I do.
It was when it became like way too woven into. That's the thing, is it became just like some characters that are fun as like smaller characters just became like way too huge.
Maximum Damage said, I feel that way about Clara. Got over her real quick. I liked Clara a lot better personally.
Clara, I was over. I was over, because that's the other thing is like the whole turning Clara into the reason the Doctor became the Doctor, and it's like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that for her to be important and for them to care about each other. You don't need to do that.
I liked Clara. I agree, she was really good at first, but I tapped out. At the switchover. Anyways.
The end of Clara was a... Anyway, yeah. So there it is. The TARDIS in Fortnite, in TARDIS lands. I want to run around in the TARDIS lands. I don't know if I will open Fortnite.
We'll see. We'll find out. In continued new game news, I do want to talk about something that I found a very exciting trailer. You know, actually, can you play it for the sake of a little bit of sound? I think this will have no copyrighted music in it.
We'll see. We'll see if sound pops up for everybody.
Oh, right. We haven't been getting any sound.
Yeah, but I'll certainly bring it up here.
We mustn't forget.
Nope. I don't know if y'all are going to get anything.
Probably not. It claims that you are, but we know that doesn't matter.
Well, it's very sweet music.
It's very sweet music. Just believe us.
Just believe us when we say this very sweet music.
So this is described as an interactive role-playing musical, and I do find that very interesting. It's a new game from Humble Games, and
is that just Jennifer Connelly? Is that just Jennifer Connelly in Dark City?
This does have Laura Bailey in it. It's true. We got very little about it here, but I love all of the words they said.
I do love the words strung together of role-playing musical. Let's talk more about that.
Let's talk about role-playing musical. I love that. That sounds wonderful. I want to know everything. So the song on the intro that is correct, Nacho, is Laura Bailey, which is so great. I'm just like, give me a little more than that. Give me a little more, because the words you said, I'm in. Give me something. That
was just their little tease as part of the Humble Showcase.
Yeah, they did do a nice little Humble Showcase yesterday on St. Patrick's Day.
Monaco is getting a sequel, which is huge. Monaco should have been bigger than it was. I think Monaco was the 4-player heist game. Mm-hmm. Top-down, like, pixel heist game. It was absolutely wonderful. And I think it helped to kick off the online multiplayer thing, the indie online multiplayer thing, but because it helped to kick it off, it didn't really get all of the players that it should have, right? When you start a trend, you don't get as many players as the people who ride those tails later.
Yeah.
But it was such a wonder. I love the feeling of just like picking a crew and going into a heist. It looks like they're changing the graphic style, which is a huge deal. They need to.
This is a game called Coral Island. I mean, you know what it is immediately by looking at it. It's in your vein of your Stardew Valleys and whatnot, but you're going to do it on an island. And I like that.
Island.
I think this looked really cute. I liked it a lot. I don't know what exactly it reminds me of animation style wise, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's got a little bit of Story of Seasons to it.
It looks, I don't know. This art style to me looks a little too, it's starting to look a little too shiny corporate advertising.
A little too mobile.
Yeah, a little too mobile game, a little too shiny corporate ad. I'm not saying I dislike it, but I'm saying it does lean in that direction a little bit for me.
What I will say though that breaks that up for me is that when you're speaking to the characters and those like more like drawn artistic takes on the characters, that brought it back down for me into a way that I was cool with.
Yeah.
I will agree otherwise it can look like, you know, those mobile game ads where grandma goes to jail?
Yeah, it looks like those. It looks like it looks a little bit like you grabbed some stuff off the asset store for Unity, not like everything, but it looks like you filled in your game with some assets.
But I do look at those cows and I go, Harvest Moon Story of Seasons, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm just murder
but
gods.
You're like, but what about this one?
Murder gods, romance, and more. Like
that's all your favorite things. If you look up, you know, when you can look up, you can see what tags Instagram is using to advertise to you. When Saige looks up hers, it is murder, song, gods,
and romance. Murder, gods, and romance.
Moon scars. Sure, I love this. You know this looks like me.
This absolutely. I saw this and I was like, oh, it's an Anthony game.
We love a Dead Cellsy, Metroidvania-ish, way too hard to play action platformer. We love it. I'll play that.
Ghost Song as well. I do enjoy all of these titles. I actually think they kind of slapped on all these titles.
Dude, I'll say this. Humble's starting to come into their own as a publisher. At first, it was kind of like Humble was taking some real low risk, low reward kind of approach. Like, let's just dabble in publishing a bit and see what happens, see what comes of it. And now I feel like they're really starting to build a portfolio of interesting stuff, and they're figuring out how to find developers.
I love this. This is spacey and interesting. You wake up on a desolate moon. Like, yeah, absolutely. I think that this will be fun. Let's go explore Desolate Moon.
Yeah. Infinite Guitars also sounds like me.
I would love this. Yeah.
This is a rhythm RPG game. Now, this one I've been following the developer for a little bit.
I hope you can co-op this. This seems like something we would co-op.
Oh, I would love to co-op this. I would love to.
I think it looks co-opable. We don't have confirmation on that yet, but
so far they're only really showing like one person running around on the overworld, but hey, we'd love to see it.
We'd love to see it. It looks like, based on the mechanics, it looks like it should be co-opable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's just the kind of game where you look at that and you're like, I should be able to play that on a couch with someone.
Any game about a band, it's like bands aren't one people.
Exactly. Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Bands aren't one people.
Hey, Humble. Bands are not one people.
Bands is not one people.
Unless it's Panic at the Disco.
Then it's sort of one people.
And then it's sort of one people.
Signalis. This is a new one. This is like survival horror. This is a real mood piece here.
Yeah.
Do they show any gameplay later on or?
Nope.
Oh, there we go.
So that's not even really gameplay though. It's a collage of moments. It's not gameplay.
We get a little in-engine. Chinatown Detective Agency. Now this looks so classic adventure.
I was very excited for this one.
Yeah, this looks like you're gonna this looks like a game that you play on stream.
Yeah. I love the mechanic. Look at that. The way you were aiming like it was a camera.
Yeah. This has very old school PC vibes, and I love that.
And it's cute, and I love it. It's so wild that this fucking like showcase came out of nowhere and has so much in it. I think it doesn't get the attention because these are indie games that people aren't necessarily looking for the titles of. But
yeah, but it doesn't get the same, like, people don't get excited about it the same way they do about like a wholesome direct or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Because
I think
there isn't really a theme to this. It's not for any one in particular person.
well, and also I don't think people aren't used to thinking of Humble as a publisher yet.
Right.
Like this is, I think they're starting to make these tiptoes into it.
I do think that that's really interesting. I thought this like world building technique was very interesting as well.
Yeah, Iron Oath looks very good.
So that is it. That is everything for that little Humble showcase. But I think that it's really easy to market in like a a wholesome direct because you know exactly who that's for.
Yeah.
Somebody who likes one or two of these games would have to go through all of them to find them.
Yeah, but that's the same as like doing a Devolver or any other publisher that does a showcase.
Those are bigger publishers.
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is Humble is not thought of as a publisher yet. And so this probably does come out of nowhere and slip through the cracks because people aren't like thinking about Humble as anything but like I'm going to get some cheap games this week. You know? And they have published a couple other things before that have been pretty good, but I like that they're moving forward as a publisher. Cuz here's the other thing. You can't just you can't build your company around whenever people decide they want to put together a bunch of stuff to give away, we'll be there.
Right.
Like
it's not sustainable.
It was an interesting concept in the beginning, but I love that they're actually putting their money towards actually making things now.
Right. My point was just that when it comes to a wholesome direct or something like that, they do have that advantage, even if it's not recognizable publishers.
Yeah, for sure. Bobby Kotick.
Hate him.
Super hate him.
Trash.
Just a trash boy. There was this weird story that came out about Bobby Kotick, and in terms of stories that are coming out about Bobby Kotick, this is not the worst, but it
helps that it comes from a man.
But it does say a lot about Bobby Kotick as a person and what Bobby Kotick thinks he is entitled to. Stuart Copeland, one of the greatest drummers of all time. He was a drummer for the Police.
Mm-hmm.
He also wrote a bunch of TV and video game music, most famously the Spyro the Dragon soundtrack. He was telling an extremely weird story in a Vulture interview. And he's like, listen, my kids go to this like fancy private school because I'm fancy. I'm Stuart fucking Copeland. Mm-hmm. They go to this fancy private school, and once a year there is a big charity auction, and all the parents give something for the charity auction, and they give things like, oh, we'll send you to a villa in this, and we'll send that. And he's like, and listen, for a rich guy, I'm pretty cheap, so mine is always drum lesson with Stuart Copeland.
Right.
He's like, and kids, they don't really know who I am, but the parents do. And so what'll happen is once a year, some dad comes by usually with their kid and wants to talk to me about being in the police. And then I show their kid how to hold drumsticks. And it's great, and the school makes money.
Yep.
He's like, one year, this guy comes over and there's no kid with him. He just comes over on his own. And he wants the drum lesson. The drum lesson is for a child. This man paid money and outbid everybody to steal a drum lesson from a child and come to my home. And so he's like, no, you're going to give me the drum lesson. He's like, okay. So I show him a few things on the drums, and I'm asking him these questions. I'm like trying to figure out what's going on with this guy where he would do this. And he's like, are you a musician? Do you play in a band? And he's like, no, not really.
And he's trying to figure it out because also it's a very expensive school. So it's like, why the fuck are you here? What's happening?
You here? What is going on? And so he goes, at one point, the guy looks up at my wall and he goes, and he sees a Spyro frame because Spyro went triple platinum. And he goes, oh, Spyro, you like Spyro? And he's like, yeah, I actually wrote the music for Spyro. I'm thinking about orchestrating it and turning it into an orchestral piece. I just have to find the guy that owns the copyright. And he goes, oh, it's me. I am the guy. I own the copyright. I'm the CEO of Activision. Now that you mention it, we should reissue Spyro. And then 2 years later, they reissue Spyro. Bobby Kotick stole a drum lesson from a child.
Yeah.
And put out the Spyro remake because Stuart Copeland said he should. Now, I will say a decent ending to this. I don't know if it's connected, but Stuart Copeland did eventually play some Spyro the Dragon orchestrated pieces. So I guess it worked out. But Bobby Kotick, this is not a feel-good story. This is Bobby Kotick went to a charity auction for what ostensibly must be his children's school.
Yeah.
And instead of getting something for his children or his family, decided he was going to get a drum lesson for himself that's meant for a child.
You know, Bobby Kotick has a really promising drumming career. When someday we finally fucking run him out of games.
You know, they've done all these studies that say that being rich literally does warp your mind. And like, the more I hear about the wealthy, the more I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, these are a bunch of weird baby children.
Everybody is, if you get too much money, you get real freaking weird.
A bunch of weird little baby men.
Of weird little baby men. Speaking of weird little baby men, here are some. They're 3D printed, and I want them all.
They're cute, though. Bobby Kotick's not. These are cute.
Look at these. Look at the pot boys.
I love that.
These are some 3D printed pot boys.
We love to see it. What are they called? I don't know what these are.
Pot boys.
They're just called pot boys?
These are the pot boys.
Is that the official?
Yeah, it's a pot boy.
That's cute.
Yeah.
All right.
We love the pot boys. So Andrew Martin is a freelance digital sculptor. He created a 3D model of the pot boy. He made it available on ArtStation. Check out ArtStation sometime if you're just looking to see cool art or maybe make something and use cool art as a base. ArtStation's really cool. So he made this. He designed the 3D models and immediately sculpted and printed them. And then cosplayer Nissa was the first person to print them and paint them. That's the story. That's the picture that we saw. And of course,
they're so good.
Don't talk to me or my sons ever again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so good.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they're cute little pot boys, and all they want to do is put you inside their body and use you as a stew for their own strength.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. She said it was a black spray primer with a little airbrushing and just a little piece of felt for dabbing the colors. She said it was pretty easy job.
Looks incredible.
It looks so good. This is the sort of thing that somebody is explaining as being very easy because they do it all the time and they have forgotten the complexity of their process and their art.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they were like, oh, it's just a little spot. I was like, that's not. No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, it
That's
isn't.
too good.
Hey, are you hiding the fact that you're good at art?
Do not hide the fact that you're good at art. And that's a lesson to all the pals in here.
And then Alex, I thought this was the artist, but this is just another. This is not the original artist. This is somebody else who printed the same model and made a little diorama.
Climbing out of the ground. That's so good. Even put a little guy.
Yeah.
A little guy in all his armor.
Look at that little guy. It's amazing. Anissa is apparently working on a life-size one. Somebody's saying that maybe, she posted some on her Insta. Let me see if I can pull that up.
That's great.
Enhance.
Zoom, enhance. I also have another very silly piece of Elden Ring news. Should I look that up while you look it up?
Yeah.
Or should I show it while you look it up? Great.
Sure.
Y'all, it finally happened. The inevitable. Thomas the Tank Engine is in Elden Ring.
Thank God.
You know, you might have previously seen this when it happened to Resident Evil Village. That was probably the most famous of the appearances of Thomas the Tank Engine in a mod. But God damn, is it horrifying every time. I think this was really clever. They used it as like a big like horse. Now, when they did it in Resident Evil Village, Lady Dimitrescu was Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
But this is just excellent.
Oh my gosh. Hey, number one, fuck that Sentinel, by the way. That's one of the first dudes you see. He's just hanging out, like walking around the tree Sentinel, and it's such a Dark Souls thing where like you walk down and you're like, early game, I'm just gonna walk past this guy, or maybe he's a friend. He's in clean gold armor,
And then the tank engine appears.
and he do a murder unto you.
Skyrim Thomas was also amazing. Yeah.
I love this, and I love the way it's just rearing up, and it's still doing horse things. So good.
I love this. Oh, wait. He got one.
Yeah, Torrent is now a little horse, a little train horse. Choo choo, bitches.
Incredible. I like it very much. Let's see that life-size one.
So Anissa apparently worked with a team to build this for Red Bull Levels, one of those Red Bull shows that Red Bull does.
Yeah.
Looks very good, but this was on the set of their Elden Ring show.
It's a lot of white people.
Yes, Red Bull. They tend to do that. But we can't agree that the pot boy on the set looks amazing.
Pot Boy looks great.
I'm wondering if that background is a backdrop, or if they're using an LED wall. Sorry, I'm personally nerding out.
We noticed two very different things.
Yeah.
Is that an LED wall? And I'm like, did you only hire white people?
Well, I mentioned that after you said did they only hire white people.
Very strange.
In other big,
shall we get into some? Let's get out of the games.
Let's get out of the games. Let's listen.
Don't get in the game.
It's time for me to get out of the game. It's time.
We've been in the game.
We've been in the game for too long. Let's talk about some good movie and TV stuff that is on the way.
All right.
First of all, it's out on VOD now. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm going to say, we'll just give you a slight warning, and then we're just going to talk about it. We're about to talk about a spoiler for Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, it's everywhere, baby.
It's everywhere now, baby.
You ain't seen it yet? I'm sorry. You could leave if you need to.
You can.
Charlie Cox, everybody.
Charlie Cox, of course, playing it coy the whole way through about Daredevil.
He's like, I don't know if there could be a Daredevil.
Even after a very big Hawkeye moment that happened, he was like, a Daredevil, that would be interesting. We now know he appeared in No Way Home as the Daredevil, the man without fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the Marvel Netflix stuff moved to Disney Plus.
Yes.
And they're like, well, what's going on? And Kevin Feige was like, we'd love to see more with these characters one day. And of course, if we ever did, it would be Charlie. I don't know. Yeah, there's a Daredevil reboot coming to Disney Plus. Reboot, I think, is interesting and important. And I think also a very good decision.
As opposed to remake?
Well,
it would be way too soon to remake.
I mean, reboot, remake, I think those are similar. I don't. But I think one of the things that's very reboot versus remake. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. It is not they are not continuing from the Netflix continuity.
Did they say that?
They said it's going to be a new thing.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be just because multiverse, and also the Defenders ruined Daredevil.
The Defenders did fuck it.
The Defenders ruined Daredevil.
I watched one episode.
They gave one of the most important arcs in the history of Daredevil's character, the rebirth of Elektra and the defeat of the Hand. They threw it into the Defenders, and they did it way too fast. The Daredevil show was perfectly paced and perfectly done.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, oh, Defenders. Yeah, well, why don't we make that Daredevil a new season of Daredevil so people will watch it?
Yeah.
No.
Now, I understand that they're not just saying, okay, this is a 4th season of Daredevil, which is currently the only thing that's implying it does not follow Netflix continuity. Is they're not just saying we're making season 4 of Daredevil. By calling it a reboot, I understand that is. But think of all the shows that have had reboots that still canonize the previous content, as long as they're not remakes.
I think some things that we know about Daredevil and some things that happened in the Netflix series will continue to be true.
I agree. I think this will give them the opportunity to retcon the amount that they want, but I can't imagine them starting over with Charlie Cox. I can't imagine them retelling much at all, or not following at least the like larger baseline of what we're familiar with when you're having the same actor play it.
Well, and I think we saw what they can do with that when they made the first when they made Homecoming, when they were like, look, you know about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Some things are different about this Spider-Man, but don't worry about that right now. What's important is you already know how Spider-Man is Spider-Man. And that is done, that story is told, and let's just jump in and do some Spider-Man. And I think they're going to do the same thing here. Now, something that's interesting is none of the other cast has been announced yet. I mean, we have seen the Kingpin. It was Vincent D'Onofrio. He has not yet signed on for the series, but I would imagine...
It's not been announced as such.
I would imagine. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And he seems really into it. He's always like tweeting at Charlie Cox and stuff. Like they clearly like working together.
Did we get Foggy?
Nobody else has signed on.
No, I know. I said, do you think we get Foggy?
We get a Foggy. You can't do Matt without Foggy. Will it be the same Foggy? I hope so. He was good.
He was good. And again, if they're putting together this like reboot and they're picking up with Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, it would be really hard for them to recast that. That would be a tough thing to get used to.
The most important one to me is I really feel like Deborah Ann Wall got a little bit of the short end of the stick with Karen Page because they moved her over to the Punisher to give the Punisher, we've talked about it before, to give the Punisher a likable, sort of relatable character when she really belongs as an important part of the Daredevil story.
Yeah.
Especially, like, for Karen to be gone when the Elektra stuff really started picking up was such a bummer.
It was.
So I hope they keep a lot of the same cast. I don't know, but I would also, this is such a great way to also maybe bring back, look, you don't need to bring back every series, but if we're doing street level New York, there's no reason Jessica Jones couldn't show up in an episode. There's no reason Luke Cage couldn't show up in an episode. There are many reasons why Iron Fist should not show up in an episode.
I want more for Jessica Jones.
They need to redo a lot of that Iron Fist before they bring him back. I would love more Jessica Jones. Did you see Kristen Ritter when all the shows got put onto Disney Plus? She's like, look what bitch is a Disney princess now. It's like, yeah.
Noted. I love Jessica Jones. I feel like Jessica Jones got a very short end of the stick in a few ways. Season 1 is incredible. Season 2 is still very good and better than most of the other content that they made at that time. But only giving her the storyline of David Tennant's character, I just blanked from my brain.
Kilgrave.
Thank you, Kilgrave. Only giving her Kilgrave storylines, I think, was we just didn't get enough.
Yeah.
We only got, because even in season 2, post Kilgrave, you know what I mean? It was still Kilgrave.
It made for a really tight first season and a really interesting first season. But yeah, the second season was trying to talk a lot about PTSD and trauma. And in doing so, I think you're right, leaned too heavily on Kilgrave and did way too many weird things with Patsy Walker, who is a character
Agreed.
that I really love. I love Hellcat.
I will also agree, Mahershala Ali's Cottonmouth was fantastic.
Yeah, but
my God.
But he's Blade now.
I know.
He's the vampire hunter.
We can just appreciate that it was good. He
was
doesn't have
so
to come
good.
back as it, but God damn.
But I would love to see...
Mahershala Ali is so good.
But more on the Jessica Jones thing, I would love to see, now that it could be ongoing, and we could know that it's ongoing, they don't have to worry. I would love to see, if you're telling the story of Jessica and Kilgrave, also have her solving other cases at the same time.
Also give us Jewel.
You know what I mean?
Cowards.
Like, sure.
Let's get to Jewel.
Like, let her live her life, like, show the days in between, and really build a world and a universe for Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Where it's not just this one. I mean, I understand it's an important thing in her life, but like, even in the comics, it's like, there's the big bad,
Mhm.
but then like every once in a while, fight a little bad.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. It was too focused on, and I think David Tennant's one of the best actors in the world. I love Kilgrave's character so much. He was horrifying. He was incredible, but like,
I mean, that's the other thing. Kodoroku
crossing a She-Hulk.
bringing up in the live studio audience. Jessica Jones and Jennifer Walters know each other. They hang. They're in the same circles, and they work together.
I would love to see that.
I would love to see it. And of course, She-Hulk and Daredevil, like all of this stuff is connected.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like a larger return to street level Marvel, especially, look, Kate Beaton is currently in New York.
Mhm.
She hasn't gone to the West Coast yet.
Yeah.
There are a lot of street level New York heroes that like you could do a fun universe with on Disney Plus, and I'm sure they're working towards
They've
that.
got to be. I mean, especially if they're bringing Charlie back. I think at that point, it has to be a larger conversation. It can't just be the boy.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think as much as I'm a Daredevil fan and a Charlie Cox fan, it's this implication of what it means for some of these, Marvel calls them street level, cosmic level. But like just the heroes that are like doing smaller things and are not like, it's aliens. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. This is somebody terrorizing a city.
Yeah. And you get to tell those smaller stories and do kind of more interesting things.
And we've really nailed the Marvel television now. We're there now.
Yeah.
We've nailed it. We know what that looks like in a time that we didn't have the budgets for it. We didn't have the understanding of what that could look like. And we were in collaboration with Netflix. So they had a lot of different cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, and we've seen that like Kate and Yelena are coming back and they're going to appear in films and then they're going to go back into a series probably. We're going to that's the fun thing is the interplay between movies and Disney Plus that's going to start happening now, I think is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And that may mean we never see a Daredevil movie, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we're like, when there is no Marvel movie, that means we're going to get like 12 weeks of Daredevil.
Thank goodness.
And that's going to be fun.
There are a lot of things I honestly hope for as series right now. And I wasn't hoping for a Daredevil movie. I prefer a series.
Yeah. When people were like, bring him into the MCU, I'm like, I think what you really just want is a lot more Daredevil. And I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But a Daredevil movie, I don't know. There's the other thing, when we're talking about things like oh no, it's aliens. There are a lot of heroes that can't do much when, oh no, it's aliens.
Yep.
And so they don't really fit in these big $250 million movies as much.
You know what I'm curious about?
What?
Why Jessica Jones is street level?
Jessica Jones is street level by choice.
Yeah.
And she's also street level because there was psychologically there was a bunch of stuff that was keeping her from using her powers.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that. But you mean so that's why Jessica Jones as a character made her decisions? I'm talking about Marvel making decisions. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean
because Marvel made those choices for Jessica Jones.
Right, but traditionally in the comics there was even a whole thing in Alias where she just could not use all of her jewel powers anymore. It was just too emotionally stressful, and she didn't.
I know.
And also, she was drinking all the time. But I think I would love to see the same thing that you're thinking of, which is I would love to see an arc for Jessica Jones, which is
full power.
She comes back at full power.
Yeah,
like she does. Like she's done a few things. Like they allude to it in the series when like she and Luke Cage get into it.
Yep.
She can hold it down. Like when she's, and it's more of the metaphor for what her character is. When it's like if you back Jessica Jones into a corner, all of a sudden she will throw you through 18 buildings.
Yeah. It's a combination of complex PTSD and extreme power.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And I would love to see that arc for her. I mean, seeing Jessica Jones flying alongside Captain Marvel would be a really lovely thing in the MCU. And I would love to think that we're working towards that.
I would also love to think that. I love the jewel look so much.
Which I think is so funny because the jewel look is specifically, it's not made to be silly, but it's made to be like a very Silver Age.
Yeah.
Like, oh, isn't it ridiculous that I thought I could fly around like that? Oh my gosh, I'm cringing. It's like looking back at your high school photo.
And I love that. I love that storyline. I love everything about it. I love the way she is about the suit. Ugh. So good. Very, very much.
So good. I'm ready for more of this stuff. Now, meanwhile, there is another Marvel universe that's happening, Saige. And of course, I am talking about the Sony universe of Marvel characters.
Okay.
Which is a fancy word for saying we're not giving up the rights to Spider-Man, and we never will.
I wish you would.
But they won't. And from a money perspective, that makes sense. Now, we're seeing a lot of announcements around Spider characters. Of course, they keep threatening us with Morbius.
I wish they would stop.
They keep threatening us with the appearance of Morbius the Living Vampire, and honestly, it doesn't scare me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid anymore of Morbius the Living Vampire coming out. Bring it out. Do your worst.
Also, a quick pause. I need everyone to stop explaining Jessica Jones and Jewel to me. Everyone. I need every single one of you to stop explaining Jessica Jones and Jewel to me. I know. I read it. I get it. Now we can go on to how shitty Morbius is.
So, the Sony universe of Marvel characters, in addition to threatening us with Morbius, they've been threatening us with a lot of stuff. They said, if you don't stop us, we're going to make Silver Sable. If you don't stop us, we're going to do a Chameleon movie. If you don't stop us...
Stop them.
Somebody, please stop them.
How do we stop them?
They can't be stopped. Now, we know that Madam Web is something that is on the horizon. Madam Web. Freaking wild. Tell me you can do everything except Spider-Man without telling me you can do everything except Spider-Man. Madam Web is coming. Dakota Johnson is going to be playing Madam Web. Interesting choice. Madam Web, traditionally, pretty old lady. But that's all right. Do whatever you're going to do with the character. We got a Craven movie coming. Who cares? Who cares?
Nothing matters anymore.
Who cares? Nothing matters anymore. Now, we just got Sydney Sweeney is going to be announced that she is going to be in the Madam Web movie along with Dakota Johnson. And now, there's something that I'm thinking here, Saige.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting our Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting our Craven.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting our Madam Web. We have 2 movies of Venom.
All the things everyone's asking for.
Everything everybody's asking for. We got just a teeniest, just a skosh of Venom in the MCU before he went away.
Mm-hmm.
It's so Andrew Garfield can be another Spider-Man, right?
No.
Right?
No.
No, it's so that there are 2 Spider-Mans, and one of them is Andrew Garfield.
No.
And one of them is Tom Holland.
No.
And sometimes but listen, maybe sometimes.
No.
There's one Spider-Man in his universe, and it's got all these Cravens and Morbiuses and whatnots.
No.
And then in the other Marvel universe, it's Sweet Boy Tom Holland doing other things. And maybe it's because Andrew Garfield is going to be here as Spider-Man again.
No. No, I don't think so.
Well, you won't even play with me in the space?
I don't want it. I will agree that Andrew Garfield should have gotten more at the time. I don't want it now. It's too late. We have another existing Spider-Man. The only way that I'm comfortable with that existing and not being a weird, conflicting 2 people being like, my Spider-Man, no, my Spider-Man, is the way that it's been. The way it is.
That's true.
Is perfect. I loved the way that they have portrayed the multiple Spider-Men.
But what
That's
if they can?
great.
What if they can check in with each other, though? You know?
Can they?
I don't know. What if they can? What if they can check in with each other?
I just think that that's going to be a pissing contest of Sony has a Spider-Man 2 and ours is just as good, we promise.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't think there should be 2 Spider-Men at once. I don't think it makes any sense. And from a perspective of somebody who writes, I cannot imagine being like, yeah, we're just going to have 2 different multiverses of Spider-Man running at the same time.
I say do it, cowards. Although, okay, so here's the best thing. Honestly, here's what the best outcome is. Is the Sony Spider-Man, live action Spider-Man, Miles Morales?
I would love that. That makes sense. Miles Morales is a different person than
it's
Peter
not
Parker.
Peter Parker.
It's not the same scenario. It's not the same setting. It's not the same anything.
Now,
the powers are the thing they have in common, but Miles Morales is an individual person.
it would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool if what Sony was leading up to was a Miles Morales. And hey, listen, I'm just going to say it. In the Ultimates universe, Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man because Peter Parker dies. Is there a world in which the Sony universe of Marvel characters does have an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man who has a big send-off that kicks off Miles Morales? We kill a Spider-Man to get a Spider-Man.
Why wouldn't you? Because you just think they won't kill Tom Holland Spider-Man.
You can't kill Tom Holland. No, not our boy.
Not again.
Not again. No, not again. He was already taken from us. But I think that would be pretty rad. I think if you got a big send-off for
So
that
what
Peter
does that
Parker.
look like? Is it a movie to make a send-off? Is it the beginning of a Miles Morales movie that starts with Andrew Garfield and then Andrew Garfield Spider-Man gets killed?
Yeah, I think what I would like to
Morales
see.
movie.
I think what I would like to see is little bits of this Spider-Man sprinkled throughout a Susan throughout all of these Sony movies, right? Like maybe like Morbius, we already know is walking by Spider-Man murals and things like that and all this stuff. And what if we get little bits of Spider-Man? Little bits of Spider-Man that leads up to something that happens in this Madam Web movie. That once again, Madam Web means multiverse. That's what Madam Web means.
Right.
Maybe it's a Tom and Andrew thing. Maybe they show up again.
Do you think Madam Web is a big enough movie for them to pull in Tom and Andrew and them to not be the focus of it? Them to be like...
I think Madam Web is the code name for the movie.
Really? That's a very bold claim at this point in the game.
I think they're calling it a Madam Web movie, but I think
you're lost in the sauce,
But
man.
I think it's a live-action Spider-Verse. I think it's more like a live-action Spider-Verse.
More like or is?
More like. I mean, it definitely...
Then it is Madam Web, but
It is Madam Web, but it's got a lot to do with the other Spider-Man, I think.
So then it is Madam Web and it's not a code name.
Yeah. I mean, it is a Madam Web movie, but I don't think that's what they're finally going to call it.
You're lost in the sauce, man.
No, I don't think so.
I think you're lost in the sauce.
I don't think so. Because number one, who's going to see Madam Web? Are you going to see Madam Web?
Am I going to see Morbius?
That's what I'm saying. So
but they're doing Morbius.
But that's the thing. You're going from levels of recognition here, starting with Venom, which did pretty well. Pretty well.
Sure.
Not amazingly, but did pretty well. And then you're going to Morbius, and you're going to Craven, and there's talks about Silver Sable and all this stuff, and like you're going all the way down to Madam Web.
Cool. I love when they announce a movie about a woman and then secretly make it about two men.
But that's okay. But here's what I'm saying.
I love it when that happens.
It is going to be about Madam Web bringing together all of these heroes from these different universes to fight some big bad. But look, it's not about not wanting to see a female-led movie. It's not about that. I would go see a Black Cat movie. I would love it if Black Cat was in the MCU.
You don't have to prove you like a woman. That's great.
Okay,
we get it.
Right.
What we're saying is I don't want them to bait and switch with a female-led film to really be about two boys.
I see what you mean.
What if Madam Web movie introduces Spider-Gwen? Well, we already have Spider-Gwen, obviously, in the animated variation, which is coming out in the new Spider-Verse movie, which is very, very Spider-Gwen focused.
But that doesn't mean we can't have a live action one. We want a live action Miles Morales.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we can't. I'm not saying we can't.
Yeah, and I think that would be cool too. Is if this was a live action movie that was like a Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen that gave us central characters. Because here's what the Sony universe of Marvel characters is missing: central fucking characters. You're making a bunch of movies about second tier characters, and so you need. Where are these central heroes? Where are your Avengers? Who are your like central characters of this Sony universe? They have to be working up towards that. Sony has to be thinking of this as a phase one, and that's why I think that Madam Web is gonna have multiple Spider-Mans in it. You heard it here first. Check in with me in 2025. If this movie comes out, it's gonna come out with multiple Spider-Mans. There's no way they're making a Madam Web movie.
That'd be giving a whole lot to Sony right now. I don't know about that.
But Sony already has it.
Yeah, but Marvel has to be involved on Spider-Man.
No. Marvel does not have to be involved on Spider-Man. They like to have Marvel involved on Spider-Man, and it looks bad for them if they don't.
Up to them on this point in order to get Tom Holland. I can't imagine they do it without Marvel involved. That would be a huge, huge shift.
But that's the thing, is as long as it's characters that Marvel has no plans or Marvel is willing to give up in order to keep larger stuff happening, I think they'll do it. I think they will give Sony, because I think they'll be like, look, you can have Miles Morales. We stay on as creative consultants. We understand that means Miles will not appear as much in our side of things as he will in your side of things. But that's okay, because that means we can maybe continue to have Tom and do like more of these movies. There's like a lot of 4D chess going on in the background about who can have what, because Sony's never going to give up Spider-Man or Spider-Man characters.
No.
So they have
Tom is not something that Marvel's going to take lightly, and if they could be involved, I just can't imagine them doing it without. I can't imagine them doing it without Marvel with everything they've done so far with Tom.
But they also don't want to piss Sony off too much, because at any time Sony can go, then no Spider-Man. And they've done it before.
Sure, but we've gotten up to this point.
Yeah, but Sony can just be like, oh no, we really wanted to make it work. Well, we're going to tell more stories with Spider-Man in the future when the timing is right. Like, they were all very polite about everything that went down, and I think they would continue to do that.
I think we just have a movie about a woman.
Those two statements do not have to clash.
But they do in this scenario for me.
Okay.
They do for me.
I just think Madam Web is like, I don't know. It's like What If is not really about the Watcher. You know what I mean? Like there's stuff about the Watcher in What If, and eventually they weave the Watcher into the story. But like Madam Web is a Watcher-like character. That's the thing that's strange about making a movie with her, is Madam Web is supposed to she doesn't go into battle. She doesn't fight the fights. She literally like pulls the strings.
Right.
So like, how are you doing a movie about her unless there is like a group of heroes she is commanding? I'll
agree that there are heroes. Absolutely. But I don't think it's secretly not a Madam Web movie. I don't think it's a code name for a movie about the Spider Boys. And I don't think that unless Marvel steps in, they're doing Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah, I just don't think it's called Madam Web. I'm not saying it's going to be called Spider Boys or like Spider-Man something or other, but I just don't think that's the final title.
Thank you, Alonzo. I almost said the exact same thing. Exactly. What if it's not called The Watcher? And right now this is called Madam Web by everything we have. Nothing is said that is a placeholder name. We've got multiple cast announcements already.
Yeah.
There's nothing that is implied that is a placeholder.
Okay. That's fair.
It is named after her. So
it's possible. We'll see what goes down.
We will see. In other movie and TV news, Dungeons and Dragons movie is still coming. And every once in a while, I forget that it's coming, and I forget that Chris Pine's going to be there.
Now, is this one that you feel like they're threatening us with, or
no?
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I'm pretty excited as well.
I'm in for right now, especially, honestly, based on the description of it that Chris Pine gave.
Yeah, so Chris Pine, in an interview with all the old Knives with Collider's Steve Weintraub, he was talking about the movie, and he called it Sydney Sweeney. He called it a mix of Game of Thrones and Princess Bride, which is exactly every Dungeons and Dragons campaign I've ever watched or played or been in.
I hope that it goes more Princess Bride than Game of Thrones.
Sure.
Personally. Now, here's the reason that I don't feel threatened with it. As a massive Dungeons and Dragons fan, I don't give a shit about this. I don't care. It could be so bad. What does that have to do with D&D? I don't care.
Yeah.
I hope it's great. I want to enjoy it. I think I will up to this point. But like, if it came out and it was god awful, we've already been there.
We've seen it.
I've done it. Try to hurt me again.
Jeremy Irons was there, and we're sorry, Jeremy Irons, and we're sorry, Thora Birch, and we're sorry. We're sorry to everybody who had to be in that film.
Like, okay, a bad D&D movie? Been there, seen that. It's fine.
But I love the way this is being described, because you need that you need that emotional like pinballing that a good D&D campaign has.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's silly until it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun until it's deadly. It's silly until it's serious. You know?
The cast we have so far for this, obviously we have Chris Pine, but we also have Michelle Rodriguez. We have Justice Smith, Sophia Lillis, and Regé-Jean Page, which of course is the Duke.
The Duke. I think that's very, very exciting. It's a good cast. Chris Pine says, well, what I will say is we had a hell of a fun time making it. A lot of laughs. The way I've been describing it, it's like Game of Thrones mixed with a little Princess Bride and just a smidge of Holy Grail.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. It's got thrills. It's poppy. It's 80s heartfelt. There's a bit of Goonies in there.
Yes. This is what it's supposed to be. This is a D&D movie.
I mean, who knows? But I think we had a good shoot, and John are killer guys. They know comedy and they know heart, and we had a great cast, and we had a good time making it, and that's all that you can ask for.
So this statement goes back and forth for me because saying we had a great time making it is disheartening.
Yeah.
Because it's the equivalent of they have a great personality, which is a terrible thing to say. Everyone's beautiful, but you know.
But no, that is what a lot of actors and cast will say when they can't say anything else or they don't want to say anything else.
Right, or the movie they don't think is necessarily going to be good and they don't have a lot of faith in it being good.
We had so much fun, and I think that really comes through.
Yeah.
I think that really comes through in the film. When you watch it, you can tell we had a lot of fun. Okay, is there anything else you want to say about the movie and not your summer camp experience of making it?
Yeah. Also, I think the thing that I have the hardest time with is a Dungeons and Dragons movie is so broad. Zephyrus in the live studio audience right now is talking about that as well. Is that's just high fantasy? What you're saying is it's a fantasy
film.
That's it. It's just a fantasy film.
You're gonna have some. I mean, there are touchstones of different. I mean, the way that Dungeons and Dragons made itself a Dungeons and Dragons movie, that first one, was there was a dragon, and there was a beholder in a bar.
Right. So
which,
then, like,
what was a beholder doing in a bar? Like, why was that there? But there are things. I mean, they could put in a lot of the iconic locations and things like that.
There's a ton of like deep lore and story to Dungeons and Dragons, but they're not telling any specific one.
Yeah.
If they were like, hey, we're doing a Witchlight series, I would be like, that makes perfect sense. I want to see a Carnival Row ass fucking high fantasy, like dark underbelly of the Witchlight series. I could see a Ravenloft series, right? Like there are all of these different settings that it could take place in, but it's just a Dungeons and Dragons movie, and that's where I'm like, what the fuck is this gonna be?
Yeah, and it also brings up the thing of, I definitely think D&D. I mean, I would love, and you can say this about just about anything these days. I would love to see more of like a prestige TV thing with D&D than I would love to see a film, because then you can do a D&D Witchlight series. You can pick all of these different things. I think
Witchlight makes top of my list.
Oh, Witchlight was made for you.
I think that, yes, Witchlight was made for me, but I think the reason that it makes top on my list is I see the adaptation having that story, whereas a lot of these other like larger worlds and Dungeons and Dragons is kind of like, well, you're the story in it. Like Witchlight has so much of its own fucking thing going on that it would be very fascinating. There's a very like compelling band of characters in it. And it just, there's pieces of media that are close enough that I can picture it.
Yeah.
And it's a cool like Fey fantasy setting that wouldn't be impossible, like creating the Feywilds.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different things that they could do. The movie, making one film is fun.
Maybe it's a kickoff.
Because it is a kickoff, and you get to do. It sounds like they're maybe doing some sort of unreliable narrator thing. Is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Where like Chris Pine is talking about this adventure, maybe,
and that'll be fun.
Or
I'm in.
Yeah, and that in that way he sort of is like narrator / DM of this journey.
I think that's a good kickoff point.
I think it's a great kickoff point. But yeah, it's tough when you're just making one film to make something that you can call Dungeons and Dragons and have it be Dungeons and Dragons for everyone. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We got any good big budget fantasy movie is a win.
Yeah.
Is a win.
In continued things I care very much about news, Scream.
5 Cream, of course.
This is 6 Cream.
Cream 6? 5 Cream 6?
No.
5 Cream 2?
No 5s. No 5s involved. Scream 6, we already know as soon as Scream 5 came out, they were like, guys, we're doing Scream 6. And we did know that a good amount of cast would come back, but we did just get confirmation officially that Courtney Cox will be returning for Scream 6. I haven't seen Scream 5 yet. It just got put on streaming, and every time I try to watch it, something disastrous happens. The universe is keeping me from Scream 5.
That's more of a Final Destination thing.
I know. What the fuck?
Weird. I have yet to watch it as well, but we all at least now know somebody who survives 5 Cream.
After all these years, they weren't going to kill Courtney Cox.
Yeah, if Gail didn't make it through.
After everything that Gail has astoundingly made it through.
Like, it would be weird.
It would be bananas.
But it's cool that she's coming back. I like that this means that they are reinvesting in the series.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, that means they didn't just mean it as like a one and done remember Scream thing.
Exactly. Which they already did with 4.
Right.
4, they were like, remember Scream? And we were like, yeah. And they were like, we're good for a while.
Okay, we do too.
And we were like, okay.
All right.
Well, you just got us to remember. Okay.
Do you want to have a conversation about it? No. Bye.
Scream 4 is a perfectly fun movie. Don't get me wrong. But
when there are layers of parody that once you pass a certain layer, you reach like parody terminal velocity. And that is what Scream 4 did.
Yes, it did.
Scream 4 was like, yo, we don't even know what we're joking about anymore.
Honestly, the joke is us.
Yeah. Honestly, the joke is, can you believe that we're still doing this?
We were joking about horror as a genre, and then we became our own genre of horror. So now we're just making fun of that.
Help, we're trapped in a tesseract of our own design is what Scream 4 was.
I love it. Honestly. No notes.
Honestly, no notes. So we're very excited that that's coming back. Obviously, very early stages. So we have no idea when that's coming, but it's good that it's underway. Hey, Saige.
Yes.
Happy 2012 is what I've got to say to you. Do you know why?
And with you.
And do you know why?
Why? Because
the fat pony from Hark a Vagrant is getting its own animated series. I loved Hark a Vagrant. Were you into it at all? You've probably seen some Hark a Vagrant comics without knowing it. Kate
Don't know anything about him.
Kate Beaton did comics that were mostly about history, and they were extremely hilarious. Extremely hilarious. And one of the characters was like, she was making fun of the big buxom women in fantasy and the big buxom women in history, and it was showing like them all, and then it also showed like a big buxom pony.
All right.
And then the big buxom pony became like a whole thing. And now it is becoming a DreamWorks series.
Now that's a whole thing.
Pinecone Pony.
That is definitely a whole thing.
I'm so excited for it. It looks adorable. Set in like a very weird fantasy world. All of the art looks very Kate Beaton.
This has got like DreamWorks meets Adventure Time.
Yes, and I think that's exactly what they're going for. And I think they're going to crush it.
That's great. This is super cute.
I'm trying to find... Like, this is what Hark a Vagrant looks like. You've probably seen some of the comics. I'm trying to think of some of my favorite ones.
Never seen this. Never seen this before in my life.
This addiction is tearing us apart, can't you see? The hippos will always be hungry. They will never be satisfied.
That's great. Well, hell yeah, congrats.
Oh,
Happy 2012 to all who celebrate.
Oh, Janita, you must stay with me. You are my muse. Oh, Charles. Ass is stacked, tits like a hurricane. Janita, my love.
Incredible.
Yeah. She's doing one about, this is like her one about Madame Curie. About Mary Curie. Pierre, look. Woo, ha, ha. Mary, I'm not doing it if you're doing the eye thing again. Boo, 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 boo. Kate Beaton is amazing. Hark a Vagrant is great. Read the whole archive of it. But yeah, it ran from like 2008 to 2018, and then stopped, and now we know why.
Oh, yeah. DreamWorks deal. That'll do it.
That'll do it. Animation takes a long time.
In one last piece of TV movie news, we have a little more information on Netflix's Resident Evil series, including a release date officially of July 14th.
Yo, can we talk about this Y2K
Yes.
era graphic design?
Yeah.
Like this is some edgy Y2K internet vibes.
It is, and also like that the television at the time too. It's serving like House, first season of House. It's serving like Bones, you know?
Yes. It's wildly interesting to me. So we have a release date, July 14th. Can I tell you something, Saige?
What?
I super forgot there was a live action Resident Evil series coming.
I didn't forget.
Until this news came out last night, I was like, oh, when it came out, I was like, oh yeah, they're doing more.
Domino said 9 Inch Nails album cover. You're so right.
It's so edgy, too edgy for me.
I don't know that I care yet.
You got to sell me on a Resident Evil series, if I'm honest.
A couple of things. One, you have to work a little harder to get me invested in a zombie thing.
Yeah.
That's just who I am when it comes to horror. Zombies take a little more work for me to invest. Two, I know the story of Resident Evil, and we've had a good amount of Resident Evil media. We've had Resident Evil films that were not relevant to Resident Evil in any way. Knowing, like, in theory, they're following the video game story this time.
Yeah. It's fine. It's going to be sort of, I guess it's focusing on the Weskers. Let's see. We've got a slideshow of the cast here. Okay. I'm all right with this. This is very good. Lance Reddick is Albert Wesker?
Okay.
That's a good get. You gonna show me the rest of your dumb slideshow? No, you're not.
You sure aren't.
No, you made it into a slideshow and by doing it as a slide. Okay. Elena Balinska is going to be in as we don't know. We don't know who a lot of these people are going to be.
That's a kid.
We don't know who that kid's going to be. I'll tell you that.
Hey, stay in touch.
Hey, I would love to stay in touch. But Lance Reddick as Albert Wesker. That's good. Oh, they're all Wesker kids. So this is a story of Resident Evil and the Umbrella Corporation through the Wesker family.
Fascinating.
That's a take.
I mean, like, look, if they were just like, we're telling Jill Valentine's story again, I would be like,
I mean, just do it right.
I don't want to follow around Jill again.
Yeah.
I'm good. I love Resident Evil. I love the Resident Evil games, but like, the Resident Evil games are movie enough. We don't need a show.
Out of 7 movies and a billion bad low budget CG animated things and all of this, and the movie that came out last year that just came and went. Did you even watch it? I didn't watch it. You remember the Resident Evil movie that was like a mix of 1 and 2? And Leon was like some super strong, like some super skinny, like long haired dude.
No, we got Mandela affected.
Did you really?
We crossed into a different timeline. That's not real.
Yeah, nobody saw it, right? But it happened.
No, that's not real.
Resident Evil movies, right?
Not real.
Berenstain. Yeah, welcome to Raccoon City.
I know, but also
it
it's
did
in
happen,
a spot
right?
in my brain that is not accessible. You know what I mean?
It happened, right?
But you know, like when there's something in your brain that you're like, I can't access that. Actually,
they released it and it came out, right?
Yeah, somebody in the studio audience saw it. Not the Slylander, not the Lysander. God damn, I can't read. Said Leon tried very hard in that movie.
Look, everybody, do your best. Here's the thing: we didn't get out of all of these adaptations one fucking movie that just tells the story of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you make a series and you're like, this is a series that's about the Wesker family and the Umbrella Corporation and everything that's going on in there, I'm like, cool. I still haven't seen a fucking Resident Evil movie.
I don't know if I want
and I don't know that I want it.
I don't know that I
but
want
I also don't know that I want something that's all about the Weskers. The thing that makes me interested is simply Lance Reddick.
Mm-hmm.
Simply Lance Reddick's take on Albert Wesker is all I want to see.
I stopped looking at that bubble blood. I don't know why. It did make me a little uneasy.
Bubble blood.
Bubble
blood.
Yeah.
Bubble blood. I don't know. Are they trying to do this to set up a Netflix Resident Evil? Everything, I can't look at anything now without thinking people are trying to set up a freaking 10-year-long universe.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, they've been trying already for 10 years. They're on year 9.
It makes me so sleepy.
They're already there. Don't worry. There's not 10 more years of this. Anyways, that is all of the show that we have time for today. Thank you all so much for starting your morning with us. We are going to go through and thank everybody who supported us during the show in just a moment here. But let me tell you all the many ways that you can support us. You can jump over to our Patreon. We're going to do an extra long clip today since there was not one last week to make up for it. That starts at just $3 a month. You can get clips from here for $5 a month. And there's a bunch of other cool perks over there. You can go and follow us on Twitter. You can join the Discord. It's free. Or you can just show up and watch the show. You can tell a friend about the show. All good free things that help us to keep doing this.
Scream the name of our show into a well.
I don't know that it helps, but it might be therapeutic.
I think
Another
it does.
way to help us keep doing this show is that donation goal that runs all month over here. That is literally the thing that feeds us, essentially, after the show, because we don't make any money doing this.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Saige, before we thank all these very good BBs, what is your life like?
Excellent question.
Tell me about your life.
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. You can find me on Smosh Games on Monday for one of the last live board AFs. Bum, bum, bum. And most importantly, tonight, you can find me right here on the other side of that wall in the stream shed for Failed Save. Failed Save is our live play D&D 5e, very little mechanic, mostly just a bunch of friends goofing adventure with Anthony and a bunch of other phenomenal people.
You want to see some Princess Bride meets Game of Thrones? We've been doing that long before Chris Pratt ever thought about it.
We got the Dungeons, Dragons, and the Depression.
Woo!
Amongst us. Yeah, that's most of the stuff. How about you, Anthony?
Oh, thanks for asking. Well, in addition to here, I will also be on Failed Save tonight. And I got a science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata called We Have Concerns. You can check that out at wehaveconcerns.com. And of course, follow me everywhere online at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I am at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me.
What?
We had a present we didn't open.
Oh! Okay, let's do it.
Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
When else?
I was going to say, I was playing Tunic.
It's Friday.
And it reminded me, because the last thing I was playing on the stream was Tunic, and Finji sent us a little gift, a little prezi, in a little treasure chest, and I just wanted to open it real quick and see what it is. Oh, Saige.
Oh? He's not showing me.
Oh, Saige.
Anthony, why not showing me?
First of all, a little Tunic notebook.
That's very cute.
With the Tunic runes, the Tunic runics.
The runics.
The Tunic runics on it. Let me
do the beauty guru thing. And it's lighting. It's not
I think it's the lighting
issue.
But that's lovely. And it comes with a little wooden pen. That's adorable. We have a pin of the boy.
Oh, very cute.
People on the stream.
Guru hand.
People on the stream were like, "Is this Dagger's Halloween costume?" And I said, "Yeah, you bet it is."
Yeah, that's good.
A little felted boy.
Very cute.
If you have not played Tunic, get your hands on Tunic. It is absolutely like, oh, one of the slorps. It's a slorp.
That's cool. And these are thick ass pins.
They're thick ass pins.
They're like wooden pins. That's
with
sweet.
3 C's, baby. Oh no, is this an overworld map? Oh no, it's a Tunic overworld map. How How exciting.
That'll be up in Anthony's apartment one day.
So, there is an adorable thing in Tunic. One of the systems is that you find pieces of the instruction book as you play in the game. The fox picks up like magical glowing pieces of the instruction book, and they're written in runic, but they give you secrets about the game, and it is the closest I have felt to having like the Zelda manual when I was a kid, like those old NES games that didn't tell you anything.
Right.
Or like 8 and 16-bit RPGs where in order to understand what was going on in the game, you had to like look through the manual, and the manual had like beautiful illustrations. Tunic does that. We got stickies. And I think this is my... Oh, 2 more things.
Oh my.
Oh my. First of all, 1 puzzle piece. I have to find everybody else who got a Tunic box. Is this an ARG? Might be. But here it is. I'll show it to you, but I'm not gonna look at it because I haven't found all the pages in game yet, and I don't want anything to be ruined for me. But it has this beautiful art that makes me think of like early NES game illustrations, where it's like that art of Link, like on one knee, like with his sword looking out over Hyrule. The whole manual looks like that. This is very exciting. Thank you so much to our friends at Finji for sending this along. Finji, lovely people. They release wonderful games. If you want Tunic right now, they surprise dropped it on Game Pass.
Wow.
They didn't say they were going to put it on Game Pass. They
Shit.
surprise dropped it on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you have Tunic. And it's $29.99 on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. No Switch release yet, but hopefully soon.
All right, let's go through and thank everybody now that supported us on the show today. We just got an anonymous tip. Thank you very much for choosing to support us today. Chafrikas with a 4-month resub. Thank you so much. Fada J with also 4 months. Gina Marie D with a prime sub for 2 months. Thank you for taking some money. Anonymous, again, who's doing all these anonymous donos with $50?
Hey.
Said, happy to catch you guys live. We're happy you're here.
We're happy you're here,
you
secret
are.
benefactor.
Auto Anatomy, thank you for gifting that sub to Denoba. Dweebles gifting a sub to Kralis. Also to Skylar Fiend, thank you very much. King Sassafras with a very kind donation as well. $6.90, nice.
Dweeblaws with the gift to Overlord Loki and to It's Jay. We got Cold Shoulder with the resub for 10 months. Good chunk of time. I think you might like us. Sutek's gift with the 100 bits. 100 bears. I said what I said. But what did I say? King Sassafras with the gift to Bob the Samurai. The Captain Awesome with the resub for 15 months.
That's all the months.
That's a lot of months. King Sassafras with the $6.66 tip. Much love and evil on this lovely Friday. Thank you. And to you as well. G-Rex13 with the 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you. Lavender Nightmare with the resub, or with the sub. King Sassafras with another gift sub. Cassidy Weaver with a resub for 16 months saying 8 a.m. is eternal.
True.
So true. Shiny Marigold with the resub for 12 months. You're on a 6-month streak. Can't leave, here forever.
Thank
Shiny
you.
Marigold says, and thank you for that. And that is it. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of your support. We really, really appreciate it. Like Saige said, we're doing this in a shed. We're independent. We don't have jobs. This is lovely. Y'all are really helping us do what we love. And if you are a patron,
We'll see you today.
we'll see you a little bit later.
Bye, friends.
Bye, BBs.